The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Are you a songwriter? Are you looking to turn your songwriting passion into a full-time gig? Whether you are just at the start of your songwriting journey or a seasoned industry professional, this show is made for you. Welcome to the Songwriter Show, bringing together songwriting news, interviews, and community. Now, welcome your host, Sarantos.
Hi everyone, this is Sarantos, and I welcome you back to the Songwriter Show. I'm so happy that you're joining us here, like you do every Tuesday night on the Songwriter Show. I'm your host, Sarantos, a solo music artist who's been writing lyrics for as long as I can remember. Words are so important to me, and that's why I'm thrilled to host this show. I strongly believe that every single song is a story. The Songwriter Show is broadcast live on number one ranked W4CY Radio and has listeners in all 206 countries in the world and every state in America. The station is licensed with ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, and Sound Exchange, and has partnerships throughout the music industry, including iHeartRadio and exposure to over 300 million listeners. Tonight's first guest is Rev Raps. He's better known by his stage name, which is Rev Raps, and he's an American rap artist and Twitch streamer based out of Massachusetts. Welcome to the show, Rev. How are you doing tonight?
Good, man. It's awesome to be here.
Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you. I think it's going to be a fun show tonight.
Most definitely.
So tell me a little bit about when and where you started playing.
So I actually started in high school. I started, as most high schoolers do, broadcasting video games, obsessed with them. But I also wrote poetry, too. I was, after I got injured playing football, I was an avid writer, so we had a local poetry slam or, a school-wide one, and I had put my name down for it and wrote my first poem. Didn't really, think much of it, but I just wanted to get out there and kind of see if I could make a name for myself, just in a writing aspect of things, because I didn't have my knees anymore. My knees went when I was in high school, so yeah, I wrote that poem, and that was really the start of everything for me. And it wasn't until later on that I incorporated gaming into my music, because it was something I always did, and I figure that's what music is, appealing to what people want to hear, what you want to do, that contrast between what you're doing and what people want to hear. So that came down.
I gotta ask you what position you played.
I was a running back, of course. I'm 5'4", and at the time I was probably about 180. I was pretty stocky, so yeah, they used me there. I played some defense too, but they really tried to keep me on offense, and it really was the best. And I wish I could have went further with it, but like I said, everything always works out as it should. So
yeah, absolutely. And actually, the first fan question was exactly that. What happened to your knees? That's what they want to know.
Oh, so it was just one of those situations where obviously, a high school can't afford great equipment. So the helmets we were using were probably helmets from the 80s and, early 90s and 2010.
Sure.
So yeah, somebody went down low on me, and their helmet was just kind of all screwy, so one of the parts of the screw on the top of the helmet was still sticking out, and just just punished my knee. And the pads that we wear on our knees were obviously just as bad. So yeah, I was out for a while with it. Had to get some surgery done and reconstruct a bit of my knee. So that was fun.
Dude, I thought I had it bad. I caught some weird rash from the helmets, because everyone used the same helmets year in, year out.
Yes.
And I thought I had it bad, but man, that sounds terrible. I feel for you.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying I was really I always loved music, so it was just one of those things where I was I can listen to music that I listened to when I was going out on the field, and there wasn't a hip hop music squad in high school, and easiest way to transition that was just writing poetry and writing slams, and I was always very rhyme heavy, so I translated that really quick into music.
Do you play any instruments, or do you just sing, rap, write lyrics? What's your deal?
I produce to some level of, like, I can play the piano, but like I'd rather do it in the aspect of playing a chord and then recording that chord and turning it into a beat. So like that's kind of like, if I couldn't just be like Elton John and sit down and rip a whole song, but I can learn a chord and then, turn it into something I can rap on. Sure.
What about any famous musicians or people you've learned from?
I've learned from a lot of good people. One of the first people that actually helped me out was I was at a Just Juice show, and he's a local artist that's he's worked with like Machine Gun Kelly. He's toured with Tech Nine. He's a local Boston guy, and he really showed some appreciation. I met him at a nightclub, and he was actually there with Cam Meekins, who's a pretty well-known artist as well. So I talked to both of them. They gave me a lot of good hints into the performing aspect of it and, getting a crowd of 100 to 300 people to really feel heavy into your music. And that was the first time, because I had reached out to some bigger name guys, but, no one's going to hit you up when you just started, and you have to be physically there most times. So those guys really helped me out. King Los, he's a really good guy. He really told me a lot about the behind the scenes, getting paid for what you do, not letting people take advantage of you type of stuff.
Absolutely. So we got another fan question here. Why'd you pick rap?
It was the most easy to transition from poetry, because when I was out there performing poetry, it was like sometimes when I was rhyming words, I felt like there almost should be a beat behind me, even though it was just silent, and even silent to the point of where people didn't clap, they snapped. So I really just enjoyed the more extroverted feel of being at like a concert, but having it transition for lyrics.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit about your process. Do you start with a melody, lyrics? Do you start with a beat? What's your process?
I start with the feeling. So what I do is I'll listen to catalogs and catalogs and catalogs, and not necessarily try and imagine a song yet, but just like something that makes me move, something that makes my feet tap. And I'm like, wow, that was something good. Like, so I really want to get a feel for it, not just even look at the names. I kind of just try to keep click, 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 and just really listen to the song for what it is, because you associate things. If a song's called like Fire or something, you could even put that in the chorus. So I really just try to feel what the song's worth, and then I start the process of writing on it, which really comes from freestyling, because I'll start off freestyling on the beat, and then that just transitions into, wow, that was a great line, I'm going to write it down, and then go from there.
Yeah. Do you, what's the biggest mistake you've seen others make?
The biggest mistake I've seen others make, that would probably be not investing in themselves and not giving themselves enough time. Everybody wants the now factor, like when in music, it's like right when you realize you can make music, it's like, oh, I got to make it. And it's like, no, like take the steps, build yourself up. Like, even though I've been doing this since 2011, I still learn something new every day to improve myself, Criticisms go a lot further than compliments. So really take things for what they're worth and build yourself, and don't be afraid to build yourself either. I see people that just act like they have it all figured out, and it's like, it's okay to not have it all figured out. Like, find yourself, find your sound. I was making political rap like 4 years ago, and now I make more club gaming, entertainment styled music, game heavy, really. Twitch community's been great to me. So really find out who you are. That's what I would say. Like, don't just let people manipulate you. Be yourself.
How is, tell us a little bit about Twitch. You have your own channel, obviously, but are you just making music for other people? Are you combining that with gaming? Like, do people watch you on, tell us a little bit about what exactly you're doing there.
Yeah, it's really cool. I kind of have a new fluid community going where I'll stream video games, obviously, and it's just a game. I started off just doing games I enjoyed, but I found sponsors along the way that have helped me and given me game codes for free that I can stream and try to make a little money from doing that. But also, it just allows me to then hook up a mic and I can freestyle, let my fans request the beat that I freestyle on while I'm gaming. And that came from, I don't know if anyone's ever seen Logic do the Rubik's Cube while he's rapping.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I haven't seen it, yeah.
Yeah, it's real cool. And I wanted to take something like that and do it to a level that was different and no one's done yet. So I freestyle while doing not just running around in a game, but in a competitive aspect of Call of Duty, Fortnite, or any of these big games. I'll be in the middle of a match freestyling. So I wanted to give that aspect too, and I want fans to be able to be like, hey, I like this beat, let's see if you can do it, type of stuff. And that really just created a cool cult following for me on Twitch that people would go to for my gaming as well as my music. So it really is kind of both.
Yeah. How do you decide if something you created is worth it? If you're going to put it on your CD or if you're going to just put it in your, maybe pile?
It comes down to a lot of what we do as musicians is we want to get our content out as quick as possible because we feel wow, that might be something great. But it's I like to take the time and review it. And maybe something that sounded great on Friday, maybe on Wednesday doesn't sound as great. And you don't want that. You want something that sounds just as great when you recorded it as it does 2 weeks from now. So
yeah, I agree with you. One of the things I heard, Lionel Richie would drive up and down Highway 1 and listen to his song over and over. And if he never got sick of it and he still liked it, he knew he had a hit. And yes. I think you're completely right. I put stuff away. I listen to it later, and sometimes you come back and something clicks, you make a tweak. Sometimes it just doesn't have it. So I think you definitely got to be critical of yourself.
It comes back to the patience aspect. Music is a lot of patience and not rushing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you make connections in this industry?
For me, social media has been a godsend because I'm literally from the smallest town in Massachusetts out of Cape Cod. So there's not much of an option when you're on an island. So there's only so many people. But Twitter, Instagram, Facebook in the earlier days, but more so Twitter has been awesome. Twitch too. It's getting yourself on these streaming services. They've all been so great. People always talk about trolls, but I haven't really found any of them yet. I've found a lot of support and love from the community. And if you put in effort into other people, they'll put effort into you. That's the best advice too I could give with that. If you like their stuff, comment on their stuff, things that they post that you like put yourself out there. Don't be afraid, and then they'll put themselves out there for you too. That could be a new fan.
Yeah, totally. What is your hidden superpower?
My hidden superpower. Well, I go a lot on the Spider-Man theme. Your friendly neighborhood rapper. It's kind of the motto around here. So I would have to say it's super agility or whatever it is that Spider-Man has that lets him stick to stuff, climb up walls, super agile.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your website. Where can people find your music? Where can they purchase it?
So my website is on Google. You can just literally go on Google and type in Rev Raps, and my business will pop up right there. It has all the essential links you'll need. On Spotify, I am Rev Raps. On Twitch, I'm Rev Raps. And it's the same throughout every social media platform. But the easiest way, I would say, is I set it up for Google, and you can just literally Google my name, and it'll pop up. I do have a new album that just came out a month and a half ago called Starcade. It features Lil B, the Bass God, 808 Mafia, some awesome local producers from Canada, and some awesome production. And you can find that at smarthero/Starcade album. And that'll have every single link to whatever platform you're listening on, whether it's Spotify, YouTube. I have a video available for one of the songs, Controller. So you can find all that under the smarthero/Starcade album.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit about this song we're going to hear in a couple minutes.
So as we were saying about the Twitch and gaming community being involved with hip hop, I really wanted to make a production level song that gave the vibe of gaming kind of, and gave into that controlling aspect. Like, you have the control over the game. You're the one that decides what this character does and what they don't do. So I wanted to kind of incorporate that into a song, of making it to, like, that's kind of a cool thing. Like, you know, if you can control what goes down in a video game, then, you know, who's to say you couldn't control what goes down in an esports tournament just as well? You know, don't limit yourself. So I really wanted to give the Twitch and gaming community something, an anthem they could go by and listen to. So I hooked up with one of my dudes from Spain as well, bring some culture into it. He raps in Spanish, I rap in English, and, you know, it just was a really good mix and a vibe for a great community that I wanted to give back to.
Awesome. You got any good plans for the weekend?
Oh yeah, I'm going to be in Rhode Island at an album listening party, just for a local artist around there, and probably do a little fishing on the side. You know, might just go out in the boat and have a little good time before I go to Maine for a little bit. I go to the Comic-Con in Portland. So yeah,
I love the Comic-Con.
Comic-Cons are great. They pop up more so everywhere. It's like you don't even have to go to San Diego anymore. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we got one in Chicago. I love going to it every year.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But, you know, might just try to get a little fishing in on the side. Always love nature.
Yeah, do you collect comics?
Oh yes, my collection is ever growing, and it's probably too big now. I'm gonna have to open an eBay store.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad collected, so I got all his stuff, and, you know, now I collected, so it's a stash now.
Yeah. Marvel or DC? Who's your favorite?
Marvel, 100%. And I do love DC, don't get me wrong, but Marvel just gives you the spine, the spine shivers. You're just like, oh my God, every time you read one of their books and how they translated it into movies, it's bar none. You can't get better.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. They're both awesome. But, well, you know, if anyone from Marvel is listening, I think you and I are available to do music and to, you know, to star in our own. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, man. It was great having you on the show. Wish you nothing but the best. And we're going to hear your song right now.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, man. Thanks. All right, here we go.
Welcome, what the fuck to my jungle. This music way like a number. Make you addicted like a jungle. I live at night like a vampire. Welcome, what the fuck to my jungle. Eso mierda no quiero esa pena. Solo pienso en la gente que está. Porque mucho me gusta lo que quiero botar. Para atrás tipo gente que no va contenta. Batman creo que quiero matar. Fantasma y la debe más crack. Con Rev Raps que ya en mi senpai. Toca te la deja Dory en el Taikai. La gente que no sabe ni cuánto le hace. Un hombre como yo, este pato gigante. De la ola del charco, la parte. Motherfucking great like an anthem. Puro como el gospel, como Frank Castle. Si yo soy güey, mi vejiga es Alfred. Solo quiero mi sitio, mi parte. No llevo toda la vida para rendirme.
Give me that up, give me that down. 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 What goes up must come down. I control what goes down. What goes up must come down. I control what goes down.
Got no time for the liars. Hitting goons in the face with the pliers. Gotta check these dudes for the wires. My bar so lit like a fire. So them shit to the highest buyer. I peel up quick like a driver. I been so low like a diver. Now I eat up roll like a tire.
What's past is the past, I ain't coming in last. I be ghosting the whip while I'm blowing on gas. Make what I spend and I ain't touching stash. Some of these dudes, they ain't never seen cash. I be wildin' and spreading a terrible rash. Uprighting bars while you thinking I'll crash. I put in the work and I wait for the draft. Me on the clock, that's a beautiful match. Give me that up, give me that down. 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 What goes up must come down. I control what goes down. What goes up must come down. I control what goes down. Give me that up, give me that 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 down. What goes up must come down. I control what goes down. What goes up must come down. I control what goes down.
Come on, yeah, come on, jump up, rap, raps, jump up, raps, jump up, rap, raps, sounds table, yeah,
And now, welcome this week's special guest.
Well, that was a wonderful song we heard, and now we're going to talk about our second guest, Billy Lonas. Billy became a songwriter because he realized it's an important part of his life, and he tried to understand many issues that affect all of us. This inspired him to become a songwriter. He wrote his first song in 1985 and discovered that by writing a song, it freed his thoughts and gave him a different perspective on any matter he had written about. So that's what he hopes his songs do for other people too. Welcome to the show, Billy. How you doing tonight?
Well, thank you, Sarantos. It's an honor to be in your presence.
Oh, you're welcome, my friend. So you have an interesting story. Tell us a little bit about what got you going in 1985 down this road.
Well, come to find out, I had been writing country music all my life. Only learned that in 1985 I could put them on paper. So, and what brought that about was my second divorce. And I wrote a song called Prison of My Mind. And it basically a song about how I was feeling inside. And I suddenly realized that the only one that was keeping me in this prison was me, myself.
That's a very powerful statement. Yeah. That sounds like a song.
Yeah, it's really what set me on my journey of writing songs. I haven't written as many as you have, but I have written over 125. And I kind of quit writing because I got discouraged because I didn't have any way to get them out to the public other than just by the people I met.
Well, what do you think? What do you think is the message that you hope to spread around the world with your music?
Well, I write to the individual. I don't write to a particular group of people because my songs come from the heart. So knowing that most humans are alike in some shape or form in their feelings, I try to touch the heart of the individual because that's the song that I'm expressing. That's where it's coming from, me, my heart.
Sure. And do you start with words? Do you start with music? What's your process like?
Probably not like most people. I start with the hook. It's like Prison of My Mind. I was sitting there and I suddenly realized I'm a prisoner of my own mind because I do. And another song, No Win Situation, is a story about my life. The song that you're going to play on the show tonight, How Can They Be So Cold? It's about 9/11 and how I was feeling at that time and relating that probably the rest of the country was feeling the same way at that time. So actually I start with the hook.
Yeah. Okay. And you know what? You're not wrong. A lot of people start with the hook and then work from there. And it's not a bad place to start, my friend.
Well, it's worked for me so far, I hope.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about if you could jam with any famous musician dead or alive, who'd you pick?
Oh, without a doubt, Hank Williams Sr.
Okay. Why?
I guess because I've always listened to old style country because it always told a story, and he had a very unique way of telling a story that was about him, but it was also about the listener, because we all make the same mistakes and we all go through the same trials.
Yeah. One of the questions I like to ask everybody, and I'm going to ask you now, is about scams. Any scams you've fallen for you want to warn us about, or any that, you haven't fallen for, and anything you want to share with us on that?
Well, I mean, I work full time. I'm an electrician by trade. So until recently, the internet came along, and I can kind of spot a scam as soon as they're asking you for something. That's something you want to avoid that I've learned. So I've kind of reserved myself to trying to promote myself. Me and my partner, which you had on your show about 6 months ago, Marvin Wilson. We started a website, which was my idea, and Marvin has gotten it put together. We're reworking it right now. We're making it simpler, and we're going to make it so people that help us to promote artists will get paid for their efforts.
Sure. How is that going for you?
Well, like I said, we had to simplify. It was too complicated the way it was because it was based on a point system. And nobody wants to work with points. If you do something for someone, you should be rewarded right then and there. And that's the way the new site is going to be, because the artist will get paid, and the person that's helping to promote that artist will get paid through PayPal as soon as someone purchases a downloaded copy of that artist.
Yeah. Okay. What is the advice you'd give someone who's just trying to break in the industry now?
Don't give up, man. Like I said, I started in 1985, and I have tried and tried and tried. And I still haven't made it, although it seems to be getting closer since I have a little assistance and someone that can devote the time to it that I couldn't. We are getting closer. It feels that way. So, but just don't give up, man. Just get the grit from inside yourself and put the nose to the grindstone and keep at it.
Yeah. I think, the one thing that I've seen that's a common thread in people who make it or make enough to make a living or get famous is never give up, because I think a lot of people give up way too soon, way too easy, and you just got to keep getting better. And you know what? If you're doing this for the right reasons, success doesn't even matter, because that's all relative anyway.
Exactly. I write for myself, and I'm just hoping that, what I write for myself that helps me and has helped me helps others, as you mentioned in your intro. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about any hidden talents you have or surprising hobbies, something that nobody knows about.
Well, I like to dress up in a kangaroo suit. No, I'm just joking.
I'm like, what? You got to tell us more about that.
No, I'm also an author. I have a blog. It's called Keeping It Scripturally Simple .com. I'm an author, which I have 2 books up on my website. One is called What is Truth? And then I have a children's book titled Emmy's Country Adventure. It's about a girl squirrel that lives in the city that gets caught trapped in a trash truck and delivered to the country, and she goes on an adventure.
Okay, that's cool. When you look at, you've obviously been doing this for a little bit, what would you say is the biggest difference between today's world 10 years ago and 20 years ago?
Wow. Man, the world moves so fast. I mean, even 20 years ago, it moved fast. But today with social media, things are almost instantaneous. It's kind of like dropping a pebble in a pond, and you get the ripple effect. It's immediate. It keeps going, but then somebody else drops a pebble, which overlaps that information, and that information gets covered over, and it all gets turned into one big muddy pool of water.
Yeah. Okay. And tell me something that you don't like to do.
I don't like to get up in the mornings.
Yeah, I hear you. Any specific accomplishment you've done in the last year that you're really proud of that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I'm really, in the past year, I've really worked on promoting my music more with the help of Marvin. So that has been a big part of my life that has kind of stagnated because I work full time. So that I'm getting back into the studio, and we're remixing the soundtracks and redoing the vocals and putting a whole new twist on it, adding some videos. So I'm really proud of the fact that I am doing that. I'm proud of the fact that I'm be 67 in February and I'm still working anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. Any plans to stop working? Or are you just going to keep going till they kick you out or something?
Well, plans are I'll die on top of the ladder, fall off, break my neck, make sure I'm dead. But no, I'm working on my music. I do have another business that I am endeavoring to get into. I'm hoping that will pan out. But otherwise, I mean, I'm drawing my retirement now, so that's what's been able to help me fund my songs, my music project. So I'm just going to continue. I'm a one day at a time kind of person. I can't see into the future, and it seems that every time I do, somebody changes it on me. So I gave up on trying to see into the future.
Yeah. Any good movies you've seen lately that you want to share with us?
I love My Dragon movies. My Dragon 2 with I believe it was. I'm a fan of those movies.
Okay. What's the last movie you saw that made you laugh out loud?
Oh, man. I can't answer that, Toronto's.
Okay. How about the weirdest thing you've ever eaten in the last month?
Weirdest thing. Probably my friend got me to try some Chinese food that I can't even pronounce that I didn't really like, but I tried it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. When you are you touring currently, or do you have plans to tour again?
No, I'm not currently touring, but I do have a local label that is interested in signing me. He's in the process of sending me a contract to look over now. So hopefully, maybe in the near future, we might do some college touring or something of that nature.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. If you could teach a course in college, what would you pick to teach, or what subject would you teach?
And probably a subject that's not taught. It's called common sense.
Yeah, I think we could all use some of that sometimes. But yeah, it is amazing to me how different things are now.
Yeah, it seems that we cannot be individuals anymore and have our own individual thoughts. And it now seems like you were talking about the difference between now and 20 years ago. And now it's almost like as soon as somebody says something, people automatically jump on the bandwagon without even stopping to consider what bandwagon they're jumping on. They just take it because they want to be part of the herd, and instead of being an individual. And that's what America is all about. It's like I got a YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, search Billy C. Lonas, and you'll find me. But I put up this song that you're getting ready to play, and they took it down because they said I was promoting hate.
Yeah. We have a comment from one of the fans, and his comment was, "That is so true." So I think he agrees with you, or he or she agrees with you.
Well, I hope there's a lot of people that agree with me, because if you don't, like one country singer, if you said that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your website and where people can find your music and buy it if they want.
Well, of course, my website is publishing and the number 4thepeople.com. That's publishing4thepeople.com. You can buy, so far I've got 4 tracks where you can purchase my songs on iTunes, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, SoundCloud, Tidal, Amazon Music, 7 Digital, Napster, eMusic, and MediaNet.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about this song that we're going to hear right now. What inspired it and what do you want us to know about it?
Well, I wrote it a month after the attack on the Twin Towers at 9/11. And so through the years, I had learned to put my emotions into words to help me alleviate some of my feelings and get them on paper instead of having them in my head. So writing to the individual, again, this song is a song about, actually the verses are about people individually because we open our arms wide, we take people in, they turn around and rip us open. And it's not really just about what happened at 9/11. It's also a song about what happens to the individual in everyday life. The chorus is about America and being proud of being American. I don't see why you have to be called a white nationalist or other names just because you're happy to live in America in a country where you should have the right to express yourself.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit about when you wrote that song, what instrument did you want to take the lead on it?
What came to my mind was during the Revolutionary War, where the one, there was a drummer and a fife player, and one was carrying a flag, and they were playing that song. But that's what came to my mind. So we incorporated that into the song as the background theme of the whole song.
Okay. When you we got like a minute here. What do you think is going to finally break the internet?
The control that a lot of the media has as to what we can and cannot say. Something has to be done, and it will be done eventually, because to me, it's kind of one-sided. And everything in America should be on an equal basis. So if you have one view, you should be able to hear the alternative view, as long as you're not promoting hate or violence or hurting people. You should have a right to express yourself. That is, after all, what America is all about and what separates us from a lot of other countries.
Yeah, so true. All right, Billy. I want to thank you for your time. It was wonderful talking to you. And we're going to hear your song now. And, of course, I'd love to have you on anytime again.
Thank you, Saranta, so much. And I'd be more than willing to come back on anytime you would have me.
Yeah, maybe we can have you and your partner on the same show. If you guys are ever interested, shoot me an email. We'll get you guys set up again.
All right, man. That would be awesome. Appreciate it so much.
Yeah. All right. Have a great night. We're going to hear his song right now.
You too. Thank you, man.
All right. You're welcome.
Enter into our world, our arms are open wide to give them our freedom. We walk by their sides, take the gifts we give them. Sometimes it gets old, turn around and rip us open. How can they be so cold? America lives in our hearts and in our souls, not our wealth or buildings, nor a flag on a pole. our ancestors of old. America's our home, how can they be so cold? We try to help others to understand our ways, so they have our liberty to pursue a better day. They pretend to love us, damn, they sure are bold to tear out our hearts. How can they be so cold? America lives in our hearts and in our souls, not our wealth or buildings, nor a flag on a pole. We still love her today like our ancestors of old. America's our home, how can they be so cold? Only makes us stronger when they attack our home. United we stand together, while they must stand alone. Remember when you hurt us, you received back tenfold. We don't want to hear you say, how can they be so cold? America lives in our hearts and in our souls, not our wealth or building, nor a flag on a pole. We still love her today like our ancestors of old. America's our home, how can they be so cold? We still love her today like our ancestors of old. America's our home, how can they be so cold? America's our home, how can they be so cold?
Wow, great melody, great harmonies there. So I want to thank both guests for being on the show tonight. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the song that I've released this week that I'm going to leave you with. It's called Every Single Day. Bottom line is I can't wait for football season. So I wrote a song about the Chicago Bears because, yep, I'm a diehard Bears fan. The 1985 Bears are forever etched in my mind. That season was such a thrill, and to see them dominate the league is something I was lucky enough to witness. I was a season ticket holder until about 2008. So in 2006, I got to see, their Super Bowl loss, but they had a good year that year. And then came the dark years. So, I was thrilled last year. Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace brought them back to relevance, and the 2018 season was such a dramatic turnaround, especially because I'm all about defense. Teamwork is what defined them, but that was just the beginning. So this song is a story of their road once again to the Super Bowl. And the music video's got a nice paradoxical twist, which I think you'll enjoy out next week. So I want to thank everyone for being on the show tonight. I want to thank all the listeners for listening to the show. If you know anyone who wants to be on the show, please feel free to send me an email. And I hope your own unique story gets heard around the world. My name is Sarantos. Please join me every single Tuesday night here to hear other amazing artists share their fascinating behind-the-scenes stories right here at the Songwriter Show. And I'm going to close the show with Every Single Day. Have a great night, and I love you guys for listening. Thank you.
You are
Thank you for listening to The Songwriter Show. To keep the momentum going, head over to www.songwritershow.com and join our free music community of artists, songwriters, and producers. That's www.songwritershow.com.